Hi, I'm Lisa Neff-Wheeler. I've lived in New Jersey the majority of my life. I've lived in the Hillsborough, Montgomery, New Jersey area for over 30 years. I love living here. The area has maintained its country feel while having the conveniences of a more urban area. I look forward to sharing why I love the area and the local businesses. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Lisa Neff-Wheeler, Realtor with Keller Williams Cornerstone Realty. I'm here with Alfonso Esposito, who is a Vice President of Mortgage Lending at Guaranteed Rate Affinity. He and his team recently joined Guaranteed Rate Affinity to improve his team's ability to better serve his clients as well as his realtor partners. I'm excited to have this interview with him today to be able to understand what's going on with the transition. In my experience, Al has always provided really great service. His team has helped several of my clients, and I'm interested to see how he's making out with the transition. So I look forward to having the discussion, and thanks for joining today, Al.
Well, thanks for having me, Lisa. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Good. So I guess let's start the conversation by first talking a little bit about how the transition for you and your team has gone.
Yeah, so we're right around the 60-day mark right now. It's gone as expected. There's always a little bit of bumps and bruises anytime you change companies. And, I had a long-term relationship with my previous lender. So, but, general, it's great. I'm extremely happy that I made the decision to transition to a company to better serve my clients, as you mentioned. The team's up and running and we're ready to serve.
Good. Go back to the beginning of your career and talk a little bit about why you became a mortgage lender.
We're gonna have to go back some time here, ancient times. So
I know.
20 years ago. So 20 years ago, I was at a young man out of college and didn't really have a lot of direction. I was in the catering business and my parents were realtors. And I just had some conversations with them. And I wasn't sure what I really wanted to do. It wasn't for what I went to school for sure. And they asked me, hey, would you want to be a realtor? And I was like, yeah, I'm not really sure, maybe. And, I thought about it for a few weeks and I said, Mom, I know what I want to do. And she said, what was that? And I was like, the guys that have the Yankee tickets, nice cars and nice suits, who are they? And she's like, they're mortgage guys. And from that day on, here I am today, 20 years later.
We're gonna have to not talk about sports because I'm a Red Sox fan. So
okay, no sports today.
I'm teasing you. What do you love about your job? What gets you up every morning?
The passion to help people. This job's challenging in any way. Real estate, being an attorney, title work, lending. There's a lot of moving parts in real estate. And it's the first thing's probably the challenge. The second is serving and helping people. The reason I got into it back 20 years ago is really the American dream is to own a home. That was the American dream. Either you're from here or you're not, to come here and own a piece of real estate. And that excited me. And that's why I love what I do.
Great. Now, think back to all your years being a mortgage lender. What was the oddest request you ever got from a client?
Well, in regards to a mortgage, like request wise?
Yeah, or, the whole transaction from a process perspective.
Yeah, that's a interesting one. I got a pretty weird request today, but I would like to say, like, I've had people ask me, and this may not be even odd, but just more funny. Like, I've had people ask me if I could finance the property and like tractors on the property. And I'm like, no, we don't finance vehicles, right? Mortgage lending is mortgage lending. We don't finance any personal items, right? So I don't know if people really know that. Some don't, right? So this guy had like a John Deere tractor that the seller had on the property, and he wanted us to add like $40,000 of that personal property into his loan, which you cannot do. You can't include anything on a purchase of a property. So it was pretty interesting, and he was really frustrated. He's like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm still going to pay the loan back. I said, but you're going to owe more than the house is worth. So it was pretty interesting.
So I'm sure you get this a lot. And with the volatility in the market today and what we've seen over the last several years, what are your predictions for this year related to mortgage rates, as well as, the real estate market from a pricing perspective?
Yeah, that's a good question. How long do I have here?
Oh, you have as long as you want, because I know it's...
Okay. Well, I'm kind of a nerd in regards to numbers. Over the last few years, I really, really want to dive into charts and data, because unfortunately, our market's all driven on data. And it's been that way before my time and way before my time. It just was all paper. Now it's electronic. So to answer your question, I'm going to go like three routes. Number one, what do I think rates are going to do? I think they're going to go up. And they have a little bit, right? But let me emphasize that that's not a bad thing, okay? Interest rates historically, if you go to Google and you click on 30-year average rate, they're going to tell you that rates in America for the last 50 years on average have been 5.95%. Interest rates right now, perfect credit, conventional, it's 3.5%. We're still at an all-time low. So, my first house in 2002, I was at 7%, right?
Yeah, I was 7.5%.
Right. So that wasn't even high, because in the 90s, they were in the 10s, 11s, 12s, and 13s. Okay. So people don't realize that these rates are still very special. So I do believe rates are going to go up for a few different reasons. Number one, inflation. Have you been to the store lately? Have you tried to buy bacon, milk, eggs, chicken, steak? Everything's up 30 to 40%. Okay. Same thing in anything we do. Gas prices are up, clothing is up. So I think one of the big issues with the Fed is they got to curb inflation before it gets out of control. How do they do that? Raise rates, slow down spending. Okay. So I think that'll be one thing. The other thing is that the rates have been stimulated because of COVID-19, right? So the Fed came in and said, we're going to spend trillions of dollars on keeping rates low to keep people buying houses during this time, because we lost 30% of our workforce in the last 2 years, right? So they announced last year that they're going to stop that. The difference between today and what's called the taper tantrum, which happened after the last Great Recession in 2007 and 8, the Fed eased their way over a 3-year period. Well, this time they didn't ease anything. They just stopped. And ultimately, a month ago, rates were 2.875, and then today, 3.5. That's a really big jump very quickly.
Yep.
So I believe even after all that said, rates will continue to slip up a little bit. And by the end of the year, we'll probably level out right around 4%. My prediction on the real estate market, again, I've talked about this before, but I don't really look at a spin of, low inventory. Yeah, there's for sure low inventory, but there's such a huge demand for home ownership. There's really three reasons. Rents are going up, so it's almost more affordable to own a home. The millennial group, the age 36 to I think 25, they are buying more houses than any other group. Like I think I'm Generation X or something like that. They're buying more houses at a higher pace. So they're putting a lot of pressure on the baby boomers, okay, that don't want to move. All right. So there's a lot of demand. And then COVID, low rates, and everybody trying to get out of the cities, putting a ton of pressure. So I don't take the spin of, there's low inventory and it's ruining the market. There's just such a high demand for real estate, which is a very good thing. So short-term values of homes are going to continue to increase, even though rates are going up. I think long-term, if you want to look out 3 to 4 years, there'll be a small correction, meaning it'll stop going up at such a high pace. But the experts say over the next 3 to 5 years, we should see an increase from anywhere to 5 to 8% a year.
Yeah, I look at it and say, it's not going to be the, 18 or 15% kind of over the last couple of years. It'll be slower, but when will it be slower? Because I'm still seeing, to your point, the demand from the buyers with, not as many houses on the market.
I mean, it's still a great time to buy real estate. If the rates are still at an all-time low, even if they went up, values are predicted. And like I said, with the rents going up, some places I'm seeing just to rent a 1 or 2 bedroom condo in our area is something over $2,000, $2,500 a month. I mean, why not own your own piece of real estate? So
makes sense. So if there was one piece of advice you could give someone, look at the first time home buyer, as they're contemplating buying a property and getting a mortgage for the first time, what would that piece of advice be?
3 things. Work with a local lender, somebody that's going to hold your hand, somebody that knows the market, right? Somebody that is going to be your partner. Okay. We can all go online and do a lot of things, but when it's the biggest purchase of your life, you need somebody that's going to give you advice over price. Okay. This market is very hard to navigate, and you need that professional. Just like if you were sick, you need a doctor. You can start at WebMD, but you can't finish there. So I would say ultimately make sure you're working with a local professional. Having a great real estate team, more important now than ever. People that are in your corner, from your lender to your realtor, to your attorney, to your title company, to your home inspector. These are all important pieces. You pay for what you get, is what I say. So if you want cheap, you get cheap. So my advice is to work with somebody local, work with somebody that you know, like, and trust, and make sure that you have a strategy, not just a piece of paper saying, hey, I'm pre-approved, right? Anybody can type that up, but having a true validated approval with a strong, reputable local lender is going to really help that first-time home buyer navigate this market a little differently.
Think back over your life and imagine one of your most memorable times and experiences. What would that be? And describe it.
In this business or just in my life?
In your life, in business, whichever one you want is fine.
Yeah, the best day of my life, I'll keep it very easy and simple, is the day I got married to my awesome wife that also works on my team. So that's my best memory. I put my kids to a close second, but best day of my life, most memorable day of my life is the day I married Karen.
She'll appreciate that, I'm sure. I'll send her the video too. Well, that was really all I wanted to ask today. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to talk with me. It's been great to learn more about you and your team, and I'm excited to see where you guys are going. Awesome. I look forward to, having my clients work with you because you provide wonderful service. And for our audience, thanks for watching. I appreciate you joining us. And once again, I'm Lisa Neff-Wheeler, Realtor with Keller Williams Cornerstone Realty. If you have a business and would like to be featured, please reach out to me today at 732-267-1204. See you on the next episode. Have a great day and take care.